Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks,
We'll go
Ken.
ahead and start with a statement, and then we'll open up for questions.
Well, I'll state the obvious. It was a great road win. Great effort. Very, very proud of our guys, especially on the defensive end. You're talking about a team that has one loss on the season. You're talking about a team that in every analytical, statistical category is in the top three. And we got off to a very slow start offensively, but I thought our defense was really set the tone early. I couldn't be happier with the job Trent Frazier did on Mike Smith. I thought that was a key matchup coming into the game, and then even though the two big guys both kind of fought some foul problems, I thought it was a good job by Kofi. Making things very difficult. I thought Georgie Bashanishvili was excellent on the defensive end. He made very few mistakes. And then the job Jacob and DeMonte did on two guys who most everybody thinks are pros, and Wagner and Livers was outstanding. So I thought we were disruptive. I thought we played very, very hard. And then on the offensive end, Curbelo came into the game and was so great in the first half. He lived in the paint, and then Trent, in the second half, we saw old Trent, in that second half. So all in all, very pleased, and it's the game that I'm really proud of our grit, our toughness. I thought our toughness was tremendous, and I'm really pleased with the grit our guys showed.
Okay, we'll start with Robert, then Derek Piper, and then Scott Ritchie. Go ahead, Robert.
Coach, I've asked you a lot of context questions this year. Put this in context. Obvious question with this one is this the biggest victory of your career? Have you ever been a part of something like this? Well,
I'm not going to put a regular season game in that context. It was a conference game. It was a great game. I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm excited. When Derek tells me it's the first time that in program history that Illinois has beaten a top two team on the road. Yeah, it's big. It's big. And I don't want to downplay that in any stretch, but I don't think of those things like that right now. It's you don't get very long to enjoy it. We got Ohio State, who beat us the first time coming up, and doggone it, we played great. I enjoyed it. They gave me a great bath in the locker room, and I'm really pleased. There's a part of me that's extremely pleased with the way we played because of the toughness we showed.
Tell me about Trent. He was here throughout this entire build with you. For him to have some moments like this in the second half, what's that like for you as a head coach?
Such a good player, and he does it at both ends. And today in shoot around, and we go and shoot around. I mean, we go an hour, and I mean, we're taped, and I mean, it's full on contact, and we go. And I took him out just so I knew because I was going to need him tonight, and he's mad at me. And we were working on guarding them, and that speaks volumes to Trent. And when Trent gets going, it's a pretty lethal backcourt, and I'm really happy for him because he's the ultimate team guy. He's the ultimate Illini, and we saw that tonight with his grit and toughness.
Thanks.
Hey, Derek Piper, then Scott Ritchie. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Coach, Trent spoke about wanting to make a statement in this game. What do you think that statement said, and did you notice that from your team? It's just kind of their approach and their energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that's ahead of us. They're the in all likelihood, and I don't know what they've got left, even with their schedule, but they got one loss. They're number 2 in the country. They're in their building, and what greater opportunity to make a statement about who we are, and and where this team's matured to, and how they've grown. And doggone it, he's a senior, man. He's got a lot of charisma, a lot of character, and and a lot of leadership, and he led him tonight.
Have you seen your team and your time here play that hard for the 40 minutes?
It's up there. I mean, it's the execution is what's really pleasing, to play that hard. You know, we made a mistake late, you know, and going under a ball screen and gave up a 3. But the execution to go with that effort, probably that's as good, that's as high as we've been.
Thanks.
Okay, Scott Ritchie, and then Gabby, and then Brett Behrens. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, Brad, you mentioned this past Saturday that other than the last 2 minutes, the Wisconsin game was maybe as good as you've seen this team defensively. Now tonight, is there something extra that they've maybe hit these last couple of games to be at that level?
Well, you know, and I don't know what that is. Because we haven't really practiced. You know, it's attention to detail. There's been a ton of film work. Maybe that's the key. But I think our success as we move forward is going to be based on what we do on this end, and we have to be that. And you know, we're not going to make 10 threes every single night and go 10 for 14 and have a beautiful night where we shoot 60%. It's going to be our grit, our toughness, our nastiness, and you know, this team's bringing that right now.
And I saw photos and video Io going through shoot around. What was sort of the process of figuring out if he could go tonight? And then
No, he would.
I guess.
I mean, he's in our protocol. You know, there's various. I don't know. There's about 10 steps to that thing that I don't even know. I don't do anything with that except what the doctors and the trainers tell me. And you know, today was the first day that he's actually done anything that is remotely close to playing in a basketball game, and that was just a brief period of time. So we'll continue to monitor that process and see where it leads us. And everything's symptom based, and we finally got a lot of the swelling out of his face, and so you know, we'll see where it goes as we move forward.
Just to clarify, protocol as in concussion protocol?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Gabby, followed by Brett Behrens.
That it seemed like the energy on the bench with the guys and the coaches was just a little different tonight. What do you think was attributed to that, and how did that affect your team's play?
Well, I'm going to give it all to our manager, Bobby. We call him the Juice for a reason. And, you know, Bobby's just out of concussion protocol, and he's our energy. He's our juice on the bench. And that's a big part of it, to be honest. Bobby does a great job, but he got knocked out in practice in a drill. So he was concussed and didn't make the Michigan State trip with us. But I mean, our guys knew it was a game, knew it was a big game. And that's when everybody stars in their role when they do things like they did tonight.
And then it seems like Curbelo had no hesitation just from the beginning tonight. What can you say about just his growth as a player over these last, honestly, like few games without Io there?
One thing you never have to worry about with Andre Curbelo is there's going to be something happen, and he's always ready. He's got so much FIBA experience. He's played against older guys. He plays with zero fear and so much confidence. And he is charismatic beyond, you know, he's got so much charisma. But yeah, he was ready, and you know, he was in go mode, and he went. He was good.
Okay, Brett Behrens, and then Gavin Good. Go ahead, Brett.
Brad, how do you describe how much confidence your team has right now?
I think it's high. I think we've earned that right to have some confidence. I think anytime that you play as hard as we play, I think in practice as hard as we practice, that just naturally comes with it is confidence and a comfort. And you know, I see that growing every day. And you know, we practice hard, and part of the reason we do that is so that when we get in a game, we know how hard we have to play, and we can gain that confidence. That's how you build it. And you know, is it pretty every night? No, but that doesn't mean we're not confident. And I think this team has got great confidence.
You said you've talked with your team about playing for a 1 seed. How much do you feel like this win tonight propels you to be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament?
Well, Brett, I'm pretty illiterate when it comes to what's going on in the world of college basketball. I look at our stuff in our league, and but I would be challenged to find a better win. in college basketball this year, better road win anyway. I mean, in all the analytics, they're up there. So, I think it's got to make a pretty solid statement. I mean, a lot of people have us somewhere in that 1 or 2 line anyway. Beating a team that's 2 in the country and up there in almost every analytic is got to be a pretty strong statement. And then to do that without, college basketball's best player, pretty big statement.
Okay, Gavin, good. You're up. And then we have a couple Michigan. Go ahead, Gavin.
Brad, Kofi and Dickinson were really going at it early. It seemed like Kofi gave him a lot of defensive problems. How would you just evaluate the performance, how he got him in foul trouble and all that?
Both those guys are great players. They're not good players. They're great players. And, it's very seldom that Kofi runs into somebody with his size and length at 7'1". And it's very seldom that he runs, that Hunter runs into a guy that's 300 pounds. And it was about making it hard for each other. They're both terrific. They're both competitive. And I loved it, man. To me, that was beautiful basketball.
You guys almost were doubling up Michigan on the boards at one point, out-rebounded them by 16, I think. What does that say about this team?
Well, we knew that was going to be a big part of the game, and they're one of the best rebounding teams in our league. And we felt like that, that was a battle that we felt like we had to win the game. And so we spent a great deal of time talking about it. And, I thought Jacob and DeMonte from the wing spots were fabulous. And then, Curbelo comes in and sneaks in and gets 6 or 7. And, we knew we were going to have our guards help Kofi rebound.
Okay, we'll go Brendan and then Theo, and then we'll go to Doug Bouchon. Go ahead, Brendan.
Hey, Brad, obviously with, the Big Ten standings kind of being wonky, I wonder just what you're, still using motivation of, this represents, beating the team that is first in the league and things like that, even though it might not shape out, evenly in terms of how the standings normally would.
Well, I mean, we try to find motivation for every game, and whether it's, a little whatever, it could be whatever. And I think that, this team knows that Michigan's, I think they're obviously one of the best teams in the country. That's not even close. And Juwan has done an unbelievable job of coaching them. And there's a motivation when you play a team that's ahead of you. And I'm proud of our guys, and tonight happened to be our night, and Juwan will have those guys bounce back and be fighting.
Thank you.
Hey, Theo, and then Doug Bouchon. Go ahead, Theo.
Yeah, Brad, you mentioned this a little bit in your opening statement, but Franz Wagner tonight scored 2 points. That's his career low at Michigan. How did eliminating his impact on the offensive end change the game?
Especially a guy that's been, I think in his last 5 games, he's right about 18 per game, or real close to that. We emphasized that. We didn't want to give him anything, anything easy. He's a terrific player. He's a terrific talent. He gets downhill as well as anybody I've seen in the country at his size. And we just tried to stay in front of him. We tried to make him score through us. Not give him opportunities right at the front of the rim because of his length and his athleticism. And I thought DeMonte Williams and Jacob Grandison did a good job of fighting that tonight.
Okay, Doug Bouchon, and then Jeremy Warner. Go ahead, Doug.
Hi, Coach. I know there's been some games this year where you thought the other team was more physical and more of the aggressor. Obviously not the case today. Can you just talk to what games like Missouri game and the Michigan State game, what role they kind of played in getting you to the point that you're at now and playing with a little more toughness?
Well, I think one of the things we did a good job of tonight was protecting the front of the rim, and we call them Mozgoffs, where you just jump up and you put both hands up and try not to foul. And it's not necessarily blocking a shot, but it's a wall. And I thought we did a good job of that. That was one of the things, Doug, early in the year we didn't do a very good job of. Obviously, you play the Missouris on the road, you play Baylor, you play those teams. They all help prepare you, for these moments and for postseason. That's why we play a very tough schedule. So our guys don't fear that. But again, I thought it was a collective effort to be physical, to be aggressive and to challenge things at the rim. And I thought we did a nice job of that tonight.
Is there a silver lining a little bit to Iowa being out for a couple games in the fact that it's a motivational factor, plus you get some other guys a chance to play more and develop a little bit more?
I don't know if there's a silver lining in losing the best player in college basketball. I think the one thing that's done is change some roles. Guys got a lot of minutes. Guys got put in some different spots. And again, now it's just sliding Io back in, and we don't have to change a lot of roles. We know we can be good. I gained some confidence in some guys in some different areas. So yeah, if there's a positive, we showed that we've got guys that are really good players and that are willing to compete and step up.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go Jeremy and then Matt and then Joey. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hey, Brett, I hate to ask another defensive question, but it just seems like this was one of the best performances you guys have had. Like, what have you seen click in the last 11 games, or what was, so dialed in today with whether it was Chin's game plan or how the guys were implementing it?
Well, I think one of the things we've been trying to do is, improve our number. We started the year so bad in terms of our DER, defensive efficiency rating. And from day one, we've said you've got to be a top 15 team to have a chance to be a Final Four team. And we've been pushing those numbers up and up and up. And we did a great job at Wisconsin for the last 2 minutes. And I do think it tonight was very solid, very sound. Ken did a great job, and on the defensive side, Gent did an unbelievable job on the offensive side. Helping put game plans together that allowed us to be successful. And but we're growing in that area, and we're becoming more physical, which we were not early. And tonight when we get 50-50 balls and take charges and dive on the floor, those are all things that help drive those numbers as well.
Thanks, Brett.
Okay, Matt Stevens and then Joey Wagner.
Sorry, Brad, I got to ask another defensive question. I mean, 7 3-point attempts from them tonight. I've looked and I can't find anything that low before. What was the key to being able to run them off the 3-point line like you did? Because seven is just an extraordinary low number for them.
Well, it became a 2-on-2 game. It became a game of middle ball screens. And, we wanted to try to negate that. One big part of that, Matt, was keeping them out of transition. I was concerned early because we got sloppy with some turnovers. And that's how they hit 2 threes, in back-to-back possessions. And, that was a big part of it. But again, we were the way we guard ball screens, we give up a lot of 2s and try to take away 3s. And tonight we did a nice job of that.
Brad.
Okay, and Joey Wagner would be the last one.
Brad, I guess we'll continue the run on defensive questions here. 2 years ago, when you made this move to kind of revamp your defense, you talked about doing it for games like this. This kind of performance against a team with those kind of metrics offensively, could you imagine something like this? Is this what the goal was? What was it like back then and looking to now? Well,
the goal is to do more than beat Michigan. I mean, the goal is to win a national championship. I mean, it was executed well tonight, and it's been getting better. And it becomes about not committing mistakes, not making errors, and then you put that with maximum effort. And there's a physicality to it that I love tonight, and a toughness. And man, when we're tough and gritty and flying around, yes, we are a very good defensive team, and that's how I had it pictured. And that's what we've got to bring every single night, is that toughness and that grit.
What was the key in unlocking that tonight and really for the last couple of games here?
Well, I think it's comfort. I think it's growth. I think it's, Trent, everything starts with Trent. Trent's absolutely a monster on the ball. I keep saying it. He's the best defensive player in the country. But he doesn't get enough steals or block enough shots, so people don't want to give him that. But man, I mean, he makes touches hard. He disrupts, and it starts with him. And then now you start looking at Jacob Grandison and DeMonte Williams and those effort plays, and we all know Kofi's a problem at the rim, and So now it's a continued growth, and Adam's been his growth from the, and I go back to the Baylor, his growth from the Baylor game to now is light years. So everybody's getting more comfortable and confident, and we're getting tougher.
Thanks, Brad.
All right. Well, Coach, have a safe trip home, and we'll see you in Champaign. For
Thank
those
you.
traveling, safe travels, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight.